Hello, and welcome to an episode of Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
Okay, so we are super excited. We have hit 80 subscribers.
Woohoo!
That's wonderful. So that was our first goal, I think, was 75. And then our next one was 80. So let's just make our next
100.
one 100. Go for it.
100.
Yeah.
We need 100 subscribers.
So if y'all know anyone, if you already haven't subscribed, please do.
Yes, please do. And
Yeah.
this is Angela, and I'm Betsy.
Oh my gosh.
And you're listening to the Okay, Karen podcast.
I hope that they know that. But if you don't know that, yeah, Angela.
If you're
and
new
Betsy.
and you're just tuning in.
Right. So we are going to, today's episode is about girls' trips and girls' events and just a good girls' time.
Yeah, and happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, we're both in I'm in red, you're in red and white. You said it's pink, but it looks red on TV, on screen. So before we start though, any shout outs?
I don't have any shout outs. I should shout out my husband for Valentine's Day. Love you, honey.
Okay. All right.
Did you want to shout out?
Yeah, I don't want to shout out my husband because I don't have one.
No,
but
Bradley Cooper, obviously.
Yeah, well, he didn't get me anything.
Well, now I have to remind you to shout out Bradley Cooper?
No, this is like I don't even know how many years in a row he did not get me anything.
I think you're going to have to break up with him. It seems like an unhealthy relationship. So we just thought it'd be fun for this Valentine's Day, since this will be airing on Valentine's Day, to talk about some of our fun girls trips and girls events, since you don't always have a boyfriend / fiance.
Yeah, because let's stop saying Valentine's Day. How about that? Let's not say that word
again. Valentine's Day.
Let's cut that word out.
Okay, so on this date of February 14th, we thought it would be fun to talk about Galentines type things.
Yes!
Because you're probably hearing enough about all the other crap on your Instagram and Facebook feed all the time anyway.
And you know what? If you have a husband or a significant other, good
Bradley
for you.
Cooper. Good for you.
Yeah. Good for you. I'm really happy for you. I am. I'm really happy. But some people don't. So let's move on and talk about Galentines.
Galentines.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have actually never done like a Galentine's event. Have you? Like on February 14th or around then, done something just specifically for girls?
So I'm planning on it this year.
Okay. What are you going to do?
Okay, so it's just my cousins because we're still in this mess of a year. But it's just a girls' cousins get together. So
are you hosting?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
I'm going to cook. We just decorate the table.
That's not always a given. I didn't know if you were going to do like manicures, if you were going to, there's all kinds of things.
No, although that is a really good idea, but no. No, we'll just do like heavy appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, things like that, and then drinks.
Okay.
And I'll decorate the table nice, decorate the bar area, and we'll just have a good time, But that is a good idea to do, because I have some extra of those face masks to just relax, do a face mask, maybe paint our toenails, fingernails if we have them.
About how many girls will this be?
Probably about 6.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And this is actually a really good year to do it because Mardi Gras is canceled.
Mardi Gras was canceled in the South. So the big saying now is hashtag can't cancel king cake.
I love that.
Because all
they're canceled Mardi Gras.
Right. Because all the parades, everything the balls, they've all been canceled. But
did you see in New Orleans how people are decorating their houses?
Yes.
They're also doing cool.
But they're doing it in Bay St. Louis too.
Are they?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Real. And it's not just houses, it's businesses too are doing it in Bay St. Louis.
So if you guys haven't heard of this, or if you have no clue what we're talking about because you're not from the South, Google it, look up images of Mardi Gras.
But everyone knows what Mardi Gras is.
Because there aren't parades. People are decorating like full blown like decorations on their houses and businesses to make them look like floats. And it's super fun. I was like,
Aren't they
that's a
amazing?
great idea.
I
Yeah.
know.
And I mean, they
Yeah.
probably have money that they normally pour into the
Oh,
floats and
yeah.
balls and everything else. And, you know,
Because to be on a float costs. Those throws
mhm.
are not cheap.
Yeah.
So it is such a difference this year.
Mhm.
Everything. People generally after like around Thanksgiving, when people are like, oh, I can eat what I want. People that are in Mardi Gras, that's when they start really cutting back because they do the balls and they dance and their
Mhm.
costumes are not. I mean, sometimes their costumes are like, whoa. But
Yeah, even on the float, sometimes their costumes are
oh
very
yeah,
realistic. So you need to be in your best shape.
right.
Mhm.
And they get in it around, like I said, starting Thanksgiving. So
Okay, so this year would be a
so
great
yeah,
time. And
for
I'm going to throw something out
Galentine's.
there. If you're listening to this and you're like, well, shoot, I'm listening to this on the 14th, I'm going to tell you something about your gal pals. You could plan it for next weekend and call it Galentine's Girls'
That's
Night.
right.
They're not going to care. They're going to be like, well, you just let me know on the 14th that it's the 18th. They don't have any other plans. Everybody wants to go hang out with their girlfriends. Okay. So just
Mm-hmm.
do it on a Thursday night if you want and invite people over and do something
Well,
fun.
it's kind of harder on a like a school night because everyone has work or a work night. So the weekend is really nicer, and I had planned on doing it on
I
Saturday
mean,
the 13th,
okay.
but I mean Saturday the 13th, yeah. But something else came up that I just couldn't turn down, so we're doing it on Sunday. Yeah.
That's very mysterious.
Um.
Wait, do I need to pause the recording because you need to
I
tell me what's
mean,
going on?
I think I've already told you what I'm doing.
Okay, well, just share. What are you doing on February 13th to celebrate Valentine's Day by
I am
yourself?
getting
So,
my enhanced carry gun license.
well, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
So
perfect to do
if
on
that
Valentine's Day. We are
if
full of good
that didn't
ideas.
scare anyone else off, I don't know what else will.
Okay, if there are any men listening to this and haven't been scared off already by our podcast, they're
No,
in
I
good
know.
standing. And second of all, I think any man that would end up with you would be happy to know that you were doing that.
Well,
It's
I'm
a
gonna do
safe and
it.
responsible thing to do. If you're going to own a gun, that's what you need to do.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
So
that's
we'll
awesome.
just
So,
yeah,
another great activity for Valentine's weekend.
look at there. I bet y'all weren't expecting that.
So, there you go. And it's on the calendar. She's set to
Yeah.
go.
Because I
Awesome.
actually texted my cousins and I was like, hey, what if we do Galentine's Day Saturday the 13th? And they replied, and I was like, yay, we'll set it up. And then a couple of days later, another cousin texted and was like, oh, this is when this is. And I was like, oh, I got to change that Galentine's thing because I've been looking.
Priorities.
Yes, I have
That's
been looking
right.
forward to this for a while. So
Yeah. Okay, good.
we'll get it done.
Okay, so this year's the first year for both of those things for you, Galentine's and your concealed
Yes,
carry permit license, whatever it's
right.
called.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
really don't know
Um,
either. And I probably should know that, but I don't.
yeah. I don't have one, so it's okay that I don't know. So, I think that's awesome. So Galentine's, basically, anytime you can get together with girls, it's just so good.
Hmm.
Like, it's if you can, I don't care if it's 2 girls or if it's 8 girls or whoever you have that you can be really comfortable with. You can do a crazy face mask with, because I did one with Angela, and we have a picture somewhere of it. Maybe
Oh
I'll
my
superimpose it
gosh.
to the video.
We do not need to
We
put
looked
those
like our
pictures up.
skin was peeling off.
It
What was
we
it? It was
look
like rose gold?
you look like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, it was real
Like
creepy.
that skin. Yes. It was a rose gold one that we did.
Yeah. It
Um
felt great, but we took a picture and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I have like a
and
needle
yeah,
coming on my face," or
my
something.
mom saw the picture and it kind of frightened her. She was like, and I was like, oh, it's a skin mask. It's a mask, a face mask. And she was like,
So
oh.
so girls that you can do that with, or if you're a guy and you're listening to this, your guy friends that you can be
Yeah.
completely comfortable
Guys
around.
generally don't do the face mask though.
No, but you know what I mean. Something equally as
Right. They go like play golf. You can go do
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also have a group of girls. And speaking of girls get together, I think it is so important. Now, I'm not married, but I think when I do get married, if I ever do, that I will still want to keep that girls, you know, relationships, and because that is so important to have that support system, I think. And I
I
have a couple group of friends that,
100%
yes, one group we
agree.
try to get together. We say once a month, which actually is like once every other month.
Yeah.
And then
By the time you
another
schedule
group,
it.
yeah, and get everyone's, it's tough. And then with COVID, it's even worse. But then I have another group that we try to get together for Christmas,
Hmm.
and then once in the summer. Last year we didn't get together for Christmas because it's COVID. So
Yeah.
we got together for Halloween though, and that was really nice. Just someone's house, and it was just super relaxing, and it's always a nice time. But that's
I
really
agree. I am
important.
married and I agree. And this is one thing that my husband and I both really agree on is that he needs to have his friends and I need to have my friends. And I like his friends. And sometimes I hang out with his friends with him. And that's
Hmm.
okay. But it's also really good that he has time with his friends without me. And I know this is interesting because I just have been realizing this. He has good friends and we're very thankful for that. And I have great
Hmm.
friends and we're very thankful for that because when we come back to each other, like say he just, went camping for a weekend with two of his, best friends. When he comes back refreshed and he comes back with an appreciation for me and the kids. Like he
Oh,
comes
that's
back,
really nice.
so whatever they're doing and hanging out and talking about,
Right.
they're in support of his family life as well. And I feel the
Hmm.
same thing with my girlfriends. Like, it's not like, oh, I spent time with my girlfriends and I come back and I'm all witchy. You know what I mean? Or like
Right.
about stuff. Because we have people that we can trust and that love us and support us, good times and bad times within the marriage and without and outside. And I just love it. I feel really, really lucky, really lucky.
Yeah.
And even during COVID times, I would, if you have somebody you don't get to talk to a lot, we started, Angela and I and another friend from high school, have been communicating on an app, Marco Polo. So you
Which is
send little videos
wonderful.
and it's basically like a walkie talkie, but they're videos. So you just
Right.
send a video and the other person can listen to it whenever they have time. So it's just back and forth throughout the day. Angela will listen when she has a break or when she's driving home from work and, shoot us back. And it's been, and I don't know if women would appreciate this more than men. I feel like they might because we like to chat about everything. Like almost every day, Angela's like, "Well, what do y'all making for dinner?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, we're
Just
having shrimp
normal
etouffee," and
stuff.
she's like, "Oh, that sounds so good." So it's just a way of having more communication, which I think has been
Right.
so nice this past year to have
Hmm.
that because whatever your work environment is, you're seeing people less than you were. Whatever your social life
Right.
is, you're seeing people less than you were. Whatever you're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, which is great, but man, this past year has been like I'm literally staying at home. Like
It's
that's all I
hard.
do, right? And so
Yeah.
it's been so nice to be able to keep up with those girl friends via
Right.
technology. So thank God. I
And
mean, can you
we
imagine if this
have
was 50 years ago? We would just be like,
uh
well, we
writing
wouldn't be alive,
letters.
obviously, but I mean, but our parents would be like, I guess I'm going to write letters to my friends. I mean,
Right.
okay, there was a telephone 50 years ago, so they could call each other.
But
Sorry.
we have a girlfriend, and we'll kind of go into what we do. We go on a girls trip. We try to do a girls trip once a year.
Girls trip.
Yes, and that's wonderful. But a good girlfriend of ours, well, she's a good friend of yours, and then I met her through you, and I consider her a good friend of mine, Rose.
Mhm.
How many kids does Rose have?
She has 7
Seven?
now. Last girls trip,
Seven.
she had 6.
And I remember she said our last girls trip. So we've gone to Texas, the hill country, quite a bit, and then last time we went to Minnesota to a lake house. And Rose said her husband said, "No, you really need to do this. It's one weekend out of the year. You need this for yourself." And I
And
was
her kids
like,
are
"That,
little too. I mean, there's like 6
yes,
kids, but they're all at the time 10 and younger or 11 and younger, something
right."
like
So
that,
it's a
you
lot
know?
on his plate to take care of all the kids with her gone for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I think it was a 3 or
But
4 day weekend.
I thought that is really sweet that he's like, "No, you need this girl time. It's kind of a recharge, reconnect." And it really, I mean,
Yeah.
that just kind of stuck in my head, and I always thought how nice that was.
You're like,
And
I
it
need to find somebody like that that sees that reality and
right,
isn't just like me, like, I really need to get away. Like, I really, he's like,
right,
this is so good for you. And she
because
came even, I think, with like, a nursing baby.
she did.
We
Yeah,
allowed
once
nursing babies
we
on
did.
the girls trip. But just I think just even for one night when it was like an hour and a half from her house, she's like,
hmm
okay, I can only come for one night, but I'm gonna be there as much as I can.
Right. And see, for me being single, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I can pack up and go.
Yeah.
Just tell me the dates and I'm going to be there. But with, a husband and kids and stuff, and she's like, no, I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
This isn't that important. So and it's not like girls' trips too, when we do them, they're crazy ridiculous,
Yeah, I was
where
gonna
we're,
specify. So even with I think the first year we did a girls trip, I was gonna say we went to like Smoky Mountains, but it wasn't a girls trip because Matt Bauer was there. Ugh.
oh, you mean like Tennessee when we did?
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was almost a
No.
girls trip because
Well,
Matt's
it was
like, no,
close.
just
Yeah.
kidding. I hope Matt Bauer is watching this, but I doubt he is.
He is not watching this, I can tell you. And if he started it, he stopped when we said we're
Yeah,
talking about girls
exactly.
trips.
So really I think the first one was for us when I was engaged, so 2015, and it was a bachelorette weekend, but we just went to
Right.
wineries and like
Yes.
we had
We rented
so much
a
fun.
what are they called? A
An Airbnb.
Airbnb. Yeah. And we actually went to the store, the grocery store, and bought a bunch of stuff and we cooked. I think we generally on a girls trip, we only eat out like once or twice.
Yeah. We
We do a
did
lot of cooking at
we did
home
easy,
or at
like
the
we did breakfasts and lunches and kind of like ate out. We ate out like once a day, either lunch or dinner. And then the rest we
yeah.
stayed in and we like, oh my gosh, Angela and my friend Katie got a belly dancing DVD, like how to. And no, Lisa Morris, shout out Lisa. And they got these little jingle scarves for belly dancing. So we each got one.
Are they
And
called scarves? Because you don't put them around your neck. You put them.
I
These are
think
the
they're
ones,
still
y'all, that you put on
scarves.
your
You put them on
hips.
your hips. But we
Yes.
probably only made it through the first 10 minutes and
Oh,
we were so hysterically laughing. I mean, we had some wine, obviously, as well, but we are
a
just
little bit.
imagine us trying to belly dance. And we're like, it can't be that hard. And we're trying to belly dance in the living room of this Airbnb. There's like maybe 8 of us. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna tear up laughing just thinking about it. It was so freaking funny. And we do have a couple
It,
pictures. Luckily, there were no videos taken, but
oh, I
it was
know.
really enjoyable.
Even Jenny had, I
Yeah.
think, Maria, and we wrapped it around her a
Oh,
couple
yeah,
times
she was
and
crawling
just shook
around.
her. Yeah, we just shook her.
She's making the little jingle sounds as the baby's crawling around.
Yes.
It was
So
great.
that was,
So, yeah, we just
it
had
was,
so much fun just being with
yeah.
each other.
And because we had so much fun at that, it's like the hill country. So what is it, like Fredericksburg?
Yeah, we were
Where is
there, around there's some, I don't know if it was Fredericksburg is what we were in Wimberley one year. I'm not
okay,
sure which
yeah.
year,
So we
but
went back
Fredericksburg is a
because
bigger touristy place there.
it was just so nice. And then for us, because we all like wine, I mean, I think most everyone likes wine.
Wine
We end up
slushies. That's where we
going,
got our wine slushies for the
yes,
first time.
they were phenomenal. So we went back. So when we went to Minnesota, though, we went to a couple wineries.
Yeah.
Now they were okay. I remember like the tasting, they were like, it's $5. And we were like, each tasting, they're like $5 for the whole thing. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
This,
and it was like 6 tastings for $5, and they were
yes.
pouring our glasses. I was like, "We're gonna get drunk on like $10. Like this is."
I was like, this doesn't even add up. And it's not like I've done this a whole lot, nor have I been to Napa or Sonoma, but you just said $5 and I get a bunch of wine. What? But hey, it was fun.
It was
It
a
was
lot of
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
So we
So,
go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, I would go someplace that during the day you could go, the group, whatever y'all like to do. And we looked at going to Napa and Sonoma, but if you're going to do that, you really better bring your pocketbook too, because those are kind
Yes.
of a lot pricier.
And with our group of friends, it was, I think, advantageous to choose a place that wasn't going to break the bank.
Look at you throwing
Because,
out some big words.
well, I have a bachelor's in elementary education.
Oh my gosh.
And lately I've been hanging out with a 1-year-old and 3-year-old. So don't get to use those words very often.
I was about to say, when you use those with them, are they like,
Well, my daughter probably would repeat it back to me.
yes.
Actually, Mom. So,
Actually,
so anyway, it just made sense because, we have obviously a different group of, diverse group of people. And if they, some people are like, well, I can't make it if we're going to be doing stuff that's like, $600 a night per person or something.
right.
And we had plans to do something all inclusive, but we'll get to that in a minute. So it does make sense to do something relatively close. People can, some people can drive to. We split an Airbnb, we have one meal out a day. Like, then more of our friends can be like, yeah, I can swing that, because also
Right.
if you're married and you have kids, it's like, am I going to go spend thousands of dollars on a vacation by myself? Or should we probably use that on a like husband and wife trip
Family
or a
trip.
family trip,
Mhm.
So, but it's just worked out so well. So we did that when I was
And
engaged, and then the next year, no, 2 years later, we went back because I
right.
had Claire
And
with me.
Texas, there's like a whole group that's kind of down in the South. I'm not in Texas, but then there's a bunch of them in Texas.
Mhm.
And then there's a whole group up north, the
Yeah,
Minnesota group. So it was nice to go to Minnesota. I had never been. And then more of those girls could join
could
us
join.
too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna say this. So the second one, if you are ever in the area, that we went to an olive farm
Oh, yeah. An orchard.
and orchard, yeah, and it
Yeah.
was incredible. We did like a little
I
tour. We
loved
did a
it.
tasting. We all bought olive oil and balsamic vinegar, which I
I
would
signed
not
up
have
for the
expected.
I signed up for the
Yearly
like
plan.
yeah, I don't even know what that is. But hey, I was getting like olive oil and just giving it away because I was getting so much and I don't use it that much. But man, it was
I felt very
delicious.
uneducated, but I enjoyed it because in the
I loved
beginning,
it.
we walk in and they have a little store before they start the tour, and they have little cups out for you to taste different kinds of olive oil,
In a
like with
cup.
just little
Yeah.
spouts. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, people are just drinking the olive oil and
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
balsamic vinegar. And they had little cubes of bread there to do the balsamic vinegar, but the
This is
olive
all
oil,
pre-COVID.
yeah, who knows what their store looks like
I
now.
know. You
But
can't even walk in.
they were just pouring them in little cups and taking a
Mm-hmm.
little shot of different kinds of olive oil. And I was like, oh no, that I can't do that. Mm-mm. And then we did the tour, and they really encourage you, like, if you're thinking
Yeah.
that sounds disgusting, then, you probably haven't had really good olive oil. And they're like, so just try it. And we tried it and we were like,
Couldn't stop.
it
Yeah.
doesn't coat your throat. It doesn't taste gross at all. Like it was
No.
actually fine drinking olive oil. So it was a very
Yeah.
enjoyable, surprise, enjoyable tour that we did. I
It
think when
was
we first got
different
there, Angel was
too.
like, this is, I don't see any grapes. I don't see any wine.
But and we went out in the orchard and saw
Yes. Yeah.
I guess they're trees or bushes or something.
Olive trees.
Um
Yeah. Mhm.
and yeah, it was just so fascinating. I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed that.
We
And I
both
think
did. So
everyone in the
yeah.
group liked it, and it was something different because they before we had done obviously a lot of wine. So just something different.
Yeah. Yeah. We also, I feel like, on these girls' trips have plenty of time scheduled for just hanging out. Like,
Yes.
that's one thing that we're like, yeah, we're just gonna get up, we're gonna have like breakfast, we're gonna leave at noon and go do stuff,
Right.
and it's that, like, being like consciously planning it that way makes a world of difference. Like, girls' trip is not so you can see everything. Like, girls' trip
No,
is not so you
it's
can
so
be busy
relaxing.
morning, noon, and night. It is, okay, then we're gonna come home, we're gonna have dinner at home, we're gonna have wine, and we're gonna sit around and play a game, or
And
we're
play
gonna just
games.
talk, and we
Yes,
do play a lot of games, which have
we
been
do,
a riot, with a
which
good
is
group of
also
girls.
funny because they have said, like, Angela and Betsy, y'all cannot be on the same team, which I
Yes.
think is totally not right. But I get it because we just are like, remember? And then we say the answer.
Yes.
They're like,
Yes.
you didn't even say anything.
Uh-huh.
But that's also for you and Jenny.
Yes.
Y'all can't be on the same team.
Yeah, my sister.
So
Yeah,
Right.
the best one I think for Jenny was we were playing Taboo, and I said, "It grows in a field," and she was like, corned beef hash." And everybody in the room, and I was like, "Right," and I flipped the card, and they were like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait a minute, like, there's no way you got that." And I was like, "My time's running out, I gotta keep going." And they were like, "That can't like, what?" So after that round, they were like, "You 2 can't be on the same one." And a picture of
Right.
drew a house, and she goes, "House, neighborhood, go to the next one." Like, she knew that it was
She
neighborhood,
knew.
you know? And they were just like, "Okay, you know what?" I'm like, so I feel like
Yeah.
if you have we don't want to say how many years we've been friends, but if you've been friends for over 2
Hmm.
decades,
Wow. That makes it sound old.
2 decades, then
Yeah.
then yeah, almost.
But they did let us be on a team once and we just
Yeah.
killed them. But
So anyway, so games, fun times. So those are the 2
yes.
girls trips, and then also the Minnesota one. So yes, included in that. I was thinking Texas and Minnesota, but similar things. We went out on the lake. Angela went out in a canoe.
I did. I
You
went with
remember that?
Katie and
I took some pictures because you yelled at me from the dock. You were like, "Take a picture of me out here."
right, because that was my first time. Because in Mississippi, we don't have a lot of lakes. We have the
Mhm.
ocean. We don't
Yeah,
need a lake. We have a
yeah.
big body of water. So so this was
Well,
a
and there are lakes in
massive.
other parts of Mississippi, but there's also alligators and stuff. It's just
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to get in a lake.
yeah,
But
swampy.
this was really this was very nice and a big lake. It was a big lake and we canoed for a long time. I was like, are we going to go back?
They were gone like 20 minutes.
I felt like I was just like, okay, this is all right. This is fun.
And Katie was probably like, "Do you want to go over there to that island?" And you're like, "Where's
Yes. She's
the
like,
dock?"
let's circle the island. And I'm like, whew, all right, let's go.
It's a good workout.
It was a nice workout, and a canoe, which yeah, that's not a obviously, if you know me, I'm not a big canoe person. We
No,
did the
I was
first thing when we got there, we
to
went
be
to
honest,
the
I was mostly waiting on the dock with a camera because I thought you would flip over.
oh no, I was not going in that water. I had my jewelry on. Mm-mm.
It's not like people intentionally do it, Angela. It's an
No.
accident. They fall into the water. It's not like they're like, "Oh, let's go in the water now." Whoops. Like,
And the water was cold. We went in
it was
June,
cold.
the end
Yeah.
of June.
The
It
water
was
was
still
very cold.
really cold. Like we didn't even get in the water because it was so
Mm-mm.
cold.
Yeah.
But if you remember starting off that trip, we started at the Mall of America, which I
I
had
think I
never
flew
been.
in later than you. I don't think I was there for that.
I don't remember. It was me and Jessica and
Yes, I think they picked you up and went to the mall, and also
yes,
they got somebody else from the airport.
yes. And that was really nice to start the girls' trip because I'm a big shopper. So, and I had never been to the Mall of America.
And it's crazy.
Oh my gosh, really, really crazy.
Like
So,
it's how many miles around? I don't
oh, I
remember.
don't
And
know
then it's
any of
3
that.
stories. So,
Yeah, there's an amusement park in it.
yeah, with a little roller
So,
coaster in the
yeah,
middle.
that's all I think I need to say. We ate at Wahlburgers. That was my first time eating at Wahlburgers. Yeah,
That's
which was
exciting.
pretty nice. Yeah.
Did you get gelato?
At Wahlburgers?
No, at the mall. They have a gelato shop.
No, Jessica did not tell me that. You're kidding me.
Jessica's in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we should have done that first, and then Wahlburgers, and then back to
Yes.
gelato.
Oh my gosh, I love gelato. Now, if it's real gelato, because some people are like,
It
it's
was
gelato.
good.
I'm
I
like,
had it when I
no,
was
this
there. That's
isn't.
the only thing we did in the mall. We walked around and then we went and got gelato.
Had gelato. So then we planned another trip for last year.
And we're so excited. We planned over a year in advance
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We
to
had
go
everything
in
booked.
May of 2020. Now everybody
Mm-hmm.
now is like, ha ha ha, going somewhere in May of 2020.
You
But we didn't
stupid
know that
girls.
in May of 2019.
Yeah. And I mean everything. I had plane tickets booked and everything. You had your plane ticket booked, right?
I did not. I
Oh,
had given you money, but I didn't buy it.
right.
Oh no, I did have my plane ticket booked on Southwest, so I just canceled. It was with points, so I just cancel it. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. So we were going to Turks and Caicos, which is a little bit
not only just
more.
going to Turks and Caicos, we were going to an all-inclusive resort, which neither one of us have been to before. Had been to any all-inclusive anything.
Wait, no, I have.
Oh, you have?
Not a sandals, but when I went to Mexico, I went to an all-inclusive.
Yeah.
Which
I
was
had
nice.
Not. So,
but I've never been in Turks and
Caicos. Was the
Caicos.
closest thing I'd been to like all-inclusive.
Yes. And we were super excited. And when the whole COVID thing started in February, I was like, I mean, I'm sure our trip will be fine in May. And then March, and then we canceled Easter. And I was like, oh, we got to cancel this trip, y'all.
Yep.
So, and that was a bigger priced item.
Yes.
That was, but it's also, it was, everything, food, drinks.
Yes. And
activities.
That's not something we do every year. That was like
no
10 years or something.
And it was kind of a special occasion too.
Yes. All girls trip, Turks and Caicos, all inclusive. Angela set it up. She had like a couple of her cousins and then a couple of friends she knows through me and one of my cousins. And we were just ready to go.
And we canceled it all. And then we rescheduled it and we've canceled that too.
For this May, and then we cancel that as well.
Yeah.
And that's this May. I mean, who knows? It's just so hard to tell.
I don't know if, I think they just opened the resort. They have been closed this whole time. So you have to have like the COVID test going in, you have to have a COVID test leaving, and I'm like, I don't want to go spend that much and have to wear a mask everywhere we go.
Yeah, you mentioned that and you're like, do you really want to be like anywhere in the resort we have to wear masks? And I was like,
right.
Oh, like I didn't think of that. Like here, I wear a mask and go to the grocery store, whatever.
Right.
But like on vacation, I'm like, I'm spending all this money. Let's just wait and go when we can just like not have to deal with
that. All of our pictures like, some of us are with a mask and some of us are, it's just so we're just going to put it off for a couple years and then we'll replan it if it's still there.
If it's still there. There could be a big hurricane.
Who knows if Turks is going to be there? The whole Caribbean.
What's going to happen in 2022?
I know. If we're still here, Karen.
Oh my gosh. So I think it's about all we wanted to say about our girls'
we did though do a girls trip. It wasn't a big girls trip, but we went to Ireland.
Oh yeah, Ireland.
That was just girls. Yeah, it was supposed to be 6 of us, and I think 5 of us went, which is good because
it was 6. It was in a 7-passenger minivan.
Because 7 then was supposed to go. Remember, because my cousin Maddie was going to go, and then and I was like, I'm glad we didn't have another person because 7 people and all of our luggage could not fit in this van. Let's just say it's a smaller vehicle than you would think of as a 7-passenger van in the United States. Right. Yeah. It's like a crossover. And that's what they call a 7-passenger van. So, but we're going to talk more about Ireland in March. And we have tons of great tips for you if you want to go to Ireland of what not to do. What to do, what places to see that were awesome. Right, for sure. Travel tips of how to not make the same mistakes we did. Because we had a lot of roadblocks. But that was, when did we do Ireland? In 2015, 16? Oh, really? It's been that long? Wow. Well, yeah, it was 24. I met Sean in 2015. So I had to be 2014. Before 2015, Sean. I came to visit you in Mississippi along with Beth and Matt and Tracy. Beth and Joseph, Matt and Tracy was 2015. Okay. I'm glad you know that. We came and we went to New Orleans. Yeah. And we went to New Orleans. Yeah. That was a good, nice trip, but that wasn't a girls' trip. But New Orleans is also a good girls' trip too. If y'all, and I think Nashville's a good girls' trip. Yes, Nashville would be a great girls' trip. One of my cousins went there for a bachelorette, and I was like, that'd be fun, Nashville for bachelorette. That is the number one place now. It's the number one place for bachelorette parties. Really? Nashville. Mm-hmm. I did not know that. I still think Vegas is the number one for bachelor parties, but Nashville's the number one for bachelorette.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's just a fun city, you know?
The more you know.
There you go. Is that the more you know?
That's the
That
shooting star. And now
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I'm talking about when I
Now I
say the more
got
you
it.
know.
Adventitious.
Okay. So we hope everyone has a great February
I
14th.
think is that
Oh, I need to
everyone?
shout
Yeah.
out. Oh, he's probably not listening this far, but I would like to shout out my father-in-law because it's his birthday. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Mike.
happy birthday, Mike. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Isn't that a great
Add it to
birthday?
my calendar. That is a really good birthday.
Yeah. So
So, okay.
I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you plan some fun Galentines things or girl
Activities.
events with your girl pals or your guy pals and keep up with those relationships, even with COVID and whatever else
I
is
know,
going on
so
in your life.
difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but just, figure it out. Figure it out. Just figure
Make
it
it happen, people.
Make it
Do
happen.
it.
It is worth your time and your effort
Yes.
to get it. It will be good for you, good for your soul, good for everything.
Yeah.
Take it
I
from
think that's it.
Karen's, from your
Take it from
favorite
us.
Karen's, Angela and Betsy, your
There
favorite.
you go.
All right. Good
All
night,
right.
Sean. Love you.
Good night, Bradley Cooper. I love you too, even though you didn't give me anything for Valentine's Day.
Right?
Mwah.
What a joke.
I know.